countries, they tend to postpone their marriage age. They tend to have kids later on, and the kids get to get higher education also. So the vicious cycle gets broken, and the poverty gets less, education gets more, and the society improves. One, in developing countries, one girl's education can affect 10 other people. And that we strongly believe in this. And luckily, Sehgal Foundation does that also. There are, as you know, there are a lot of foundations. They do about education and other developing country work. The reason Deval and I strongly support is because of many good things about Sehgal Foundation. Jay is right here in Des Moines, very transparent organization. The administrative costs are very minimal. And on top of that, every dollar collected is directly supported through EDA and Suri. So thank you, Jay, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh. That was wonderful starting of our conference. I would request Rob Denson, President Denson, President of Des Moines Area Community College, to say a few words, please.
Thank you very much. And of the many rules in life that I have, one is always try not to follow Yogi. Des Moines Area Community College is very proud to be a sponsor again this year. We're a big fan of the Sehgal Foundation. We want to congratulate it on the United States Department of State Citizen Diplomacy Award for 2020. An outstanding achievement, and that's on top of so many other national awards that the foundation has won over the years. Pat and I were honored to travel to India. I think it was 2006 with Governor Vilsack. Yogi was with us and Jay, and we had a great time. And probably one of my life-changing moments was the opportunity that Reggie and I had to meet with former President Abdul Kalam in the presidential palace. That was really something that I look back on very, very fondly. The foundation has clearly made the most out of its 20 years of very, very hard work with great projects. When we were in India, we were able to actually tour some of the projects. And we're very sorry that we aren't able to be with you in person tonight. We've been to a number of the prior annual events. And as good as the events are, we very, very much remember the food. Very, very good meal. So we will be thinking of that as we get through this evening. And I know I see Reggie on the call. He's one of our outstanding faculty at DMAC. DMAC's all about education, and we do education through the quality of our people. And Reggie is one of our stars. So thank you very much. And it's good to see so many friends.
Thank you for those kind words, Rob. It's a wonderful partnership, and wonderful to have you as a friend and long-term friend. And I call myself a alum of DMAC. And I'd like to introduce Dean Acker. Dean Acker, would you say a few words from Iowa State University?
Okay, thank you very much. David Acker, on behalf of my colleagues at the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Iowa State University, I just want to tell you how thrilled we are to be one of the sponsors of this terrific event. We're so pleased with the work of the foundation. We're also long-term partners, and thank the foundation for their help in educating our young people as interns, as they learn about the world of development. We also were thrilled to sponsor this event because of the whole theme of the event of youth helping youth, school children helping school children. Youth are our future, and I can't think of a more important investment of our time, energy, and our treasures. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David. Wonderful remarks, and we are pleased to be partners with. I know that cyclone football is going on right now, so I'm glad you're here with us today. I also
This is
want
my
to
priority.
I also want to quickly thank Paul and Claudia Schickler for their sponsorship. They couldn't join us tonight. And I'm not sure if Dr. Deming is on today. He was supposed to be, he may be, and as he's very well known in the Des Moines community, and the Cultivating Compassion is a wonderful organization that he represents here. So he couldn't, I don't see him online. So I will ask Reggie now to say a few words about their partnership, Kumon partnership. Reggie and Kay are here with the Sehgal Foundation.
Thank you, Jay and Veena, for the opportunity. Before I just start talking, I just noticed something. Talk about DMAC camaraderie. I think if you look at Rob's shirt and my shirt, we are both wearing that white and blue striped shirt. So there we go DMAC. It wasn't planned, but it's just the DMAC spirit over here, right? Thank you again, Jay and Veena, and of course, Eda and Suri for your absolutely phenomenal, credible organization, foundation, which you run in the United States and globally, if I may add. What you all have done in India, starting off in about 20 years ago, it's absolutely the most phenomenal personal experience which my wife and me and the Sinha family have faced and experienced. It's nothing but connecting to our mother country. I mean, we were born in India. We have gone through poverty. We have looked at what it is. We've been fortunate enough to come to this country. And now I think it just feels good to be part of something very holistic, something we know directly. I'm not doing that, but through a foundation like what you have provided us as the vehicle to go and actually go and touch these tens of thousands of lives all over the country. Some of the poorest students with water, toilet, schooling, as Yogi and others said that, talking about education and, rural development and all those sorts of things. So it really, it's an emotional string which we hang on to so preciously and so dearly. So thank you again for the opportunity. Absolutely honored and delighted to be part of this organization. All right, that's it. Next step. Thing is, we can all talk about this. What should be the next step? I'm asking Eda and Suri and Jay. And Jay, thank you for your leadership in this community. It's absolutely phenomenal what you have done over the last decade or so in the United States. We love it, love it, love it. So let's start thinking. We've been talking about this. How about setting up a community college in India? The Sehgal DMAC Community College partnership, something like that. You all know the system in India. Let's do it because I think it's time. It's time. Let's do it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I had nothing to do with that.
No, it's a good thought. We have met Rob a few times, so we'll take that up in a separate session. So thank you once again. Thank you for all your sponsorships. I do want to acknowledge that all the contributions that come through these sponsorships, matched by Dr. Suri and Eda, and as well and of course it'll fund the kids project. None of these funds, like Yogesh has mentioned, goes to the Sehgal Foundation. It goes for the projects in India and the projects, wonderful projects that you're going to listen to, which we are waiting for eagerly. So I'm going to now hand the baton over to my colleague, Khushbu. Khushbu is our Director of Partnerships and Development, and she will take the show forward. Khushbu, over to you.
All right. Well, everyone, welcome and good evening. I am so excited that all of you have taken the time from your busy schedules to join us. I think the next hour is going to be such an incredible journey to all of us learn together about the issues in rural India and to have an opportunity to learn about the work of Sehgal Foundation through the eyes and through the incredible perspectives of our young leaders. The young people that are speaking tonight are incredible, and they've put together some incredible presentations and a lot of hard work and compassion to support young people like themselves, their counterparts in villages across India. So I thank our young panelists very much tonight. Sehgal Foundation is a 501c3 based in Des Moines, Iowa, implementing our work through our implementing partner, SMS Foundation in India. Sehgal Foundation brings social scientists and agricultural water experts to work directly with communities across rural India. Over 2 decades ago, the foundation was started by Dr. Suri Sehgal and Edda Sehgal. As many of you know, Dr. Sehgal had a very successful seed company, and when he sold it, Dr. Sehgal and Edda had a belief that the family's wealth should be devoted to uplifting rural communities. When they started, the foundation was in just a handful of villages. Today, 21 years later, the foundation is operating in over 1,000 villages in 10 states, impacting 2.5 million people. Imagine that. And this has been possible because of a powerful vision that every person deserves a more secure, prosperous, and dignified life. And we are blessed to have donors and partners and friends like all of you across the globe that share our mission and vision. So thank you so much. And I am so pleased that Dr. Sehgal is here to say a few words. Dr. Sehgal, please.
Oh, fine. You want to put me to work on Saturday evening. It's wonderful to talk to young people. It's really my pleasure. And Edna, my wife, is sitting next to me. I think you can see us very. We are very visible, and it is great to be among the young people. At the age of 18, you become adults. You are still children, and so it is wonderful to be later on listening to all of them. And they say, the young people are the future change makers, and they are champions of change. Whatever they do, whatever project they have taken in this study, they can stick with the project, they can enlarge it, and they can expand it, because they will be, this will stay with them for a long time, or maybe for throughout their life. I mean, they may change their venture or other objective, but they will never forget what this project they have done during this period. So as I said, that they are the future champions. And I always like to say that irrespective of age, a single committed person can create miracles, provided given an opportunity or some resources or encouragement, if nothing else. And I think 10 years back, many of you had heard the story of Malala from Pakistan, a young girl she was 11 years old when Taliban attacked her area, which is Swat Valley. And they stopped her going to school. And to make it short, our father was very sportive, and that's very important. Somebody has to be sportive at that age of what she wanted to do. And he took her to the press club in Peshawar. That's the area actually known to me, because before partition, I grew up in that kind of an area, and took it to the press club, where she made at the age of 11, she's making a dynamic speech. Starts out, how dare you Taliban can stop me from going to school. And I think that was, it got a lot of publicity in the Pakistani newspaper. And people took up the cause, and although Taliban had closed 100 girls' schools, they didn't want the girls to be educated. Here, Yogi talked about education, and we have education at Iowa State University, DMAC, but they did not want the girls to be educated. So eventually, she was even shot and came to England for her brain surgery because she was shot in the head because Taliban, you know, Taliban is very cruel. Anyway, she was able to change it and she was able to go to school, and she is now a very dynamic leader promoting girls' education worldwide. Now, another story you have probably heard, as I say, the single young people committed to a certain cause or a certain, they started out with a project. You heard the story of a couple of years back, it was everywhere, of Greta Thunberg of Sweden, and who's passionate about climate. And again, she single-handedly sat in front of the Swedish parliament, which is like sitting on the steps of the Capitol, and with a sign that school strike. She was creating an awareness about the climate. And she got an invitation to speak to United Nations. Again, her speech was is everywhere. I mean, she started out with, there were 200 world leaders, and she started out, how dare you? You know, same thing. The Malayala also started out, how dare you not let me go to school? This also started out, how dare you do nothing about the climate? And the climate is now is wonderful that there is so much awareness and so much being done. So I'm simply saying that if you have a cause and you believe in it, you can do a lot of things as youngsters, especially if you at the young age. These two girls, they were both girls, and they started at the age of 11, and now one is 17 and one is 23rd. And I'm sure there are many other examples worldwide. And the message only to young people is that it doesn't have to be activism. It could be a service to the community, a service to any, wherever the help is needed, providing help, or just like what you are doing, your project. It doesn't matter what project, whether it's a hygiene or a clean water or a women empowerment or a digital education, which is very important now. And you youngsters are very much in the, what they call it, fourth and fifth revolution. Up to now, I was hearing only 3 revolutions. Then came the 4th revolution, which is digitization of everything. And now we are in the 5th revolution, which is clean environment and clean energy. And so, in fact, the Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, used the word now, England, UK, moving into the 5th industrial revolution of clean energy. So I'm saying you are right in the cutting edge of technology. You are very lucky to be in the environment where Iowa gives a lot of priority to education, and Minnesota too, of course. I think one child is from Kansas. So we are, at that, I am very pleased to be part of this group. And we don't get an opportunity to talk to young children. We get a lot of opportunity to talk to always adults. So it's our pleasure as
Old people.
that we old people are among the very young group. And we look forward to hearing your projects, and it's wonderful to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sehgal. That is just sets the stage for our panel of young changemakers. So thank you so much for those words. Without further ado, I am so excited to introduce an incredibly brilliant young woman, Vidya Iyer. Vidya Iyer is a senior at Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa. Vidya is a change maker in her own right. Vidya is passionate about literacy and believes that girls all over the world should be able to read. Last year, in partnership with Sehgal Foundation, Vidya led a book drive. She went to all her friends' houses, all the libraries, all the schools that she could find, and she collected as many books as she could. She put those books in her suitcase and personally carried them herself to a Transform Lives school where Sehgal Foundation works in Andhra Pradesh and delivered those books to young girls like herself. And as you can imagine, those young girls were very pleased to have those books. So Vidya, I'm so excited to have you as our moderator for the evening. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Like Ms. Srivastava said, I'm a senior at Valley at West Des Moines. And I got involved with the Sehgal Foundation through my own project last year, and I was able to bring over 100 pounds of books to India as donations to one of the Transform Life School in Andhra Pradesh. I received a lot of donations from Westridge Elementary, which is an elementary school here in West Des Moines as well. So this program is so important to me and should be important to all of you. I'm just going to echo the words that have already been said, because youth involvement in the Sehgal Foundation and beyond is the future as a human race. You know, involving youth and giving youth the opportunity to get involved is integral to the success of any organization. And I am so happy to see all of you here to cheer on our youth presenters. Just a quick note, we will go through all 4 projects and then we will have a Q&A discussion after. So save your questions to the end. Our first presenter is Shreeya Yarlagadda. She's a freshman at Roosevelt and Central High School in Des Moines, Iowa. And today she'll be talking about her project Life Skills Endeavor and how it has affected her life and her family and what she has learned from her experience. Take it away, Shreeya.
Thank you so much, Vidya, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Shreeya Yarlagadda, and I'm a 9th grader from Roosevelt High School in Des Moines, Iowa. As you see on this slide, this is a picture of me in January of 2020 when I received the Grace Murray Hopper Award for being a female who is innovative and not afraid to problem solve. This is from FLL, which stands for First LEGO League, and it's a robotics competition where the team that I'm a part of also became the state champions that season. The emotions that lie behind this award tie into what I want to ask you all tonight, which is to support Project Life Skills in order to empower girls in India. This is a very emotional moment for me for a couple of reasons. And one is that my teammates and some of their parents nominated me for this award. And one of my teammates told me why he did so. And he said that he was very thankful when I helped him with his vocabulary and writing skills instead of teasing him. So when the time came to nominate people for this award, he went to his older brother, told him about me, and asked for his help to write a letter for the nomination. And I didn't think that such a simple gesture, such as like helping someone with writing a paragraph, would influence them to the point where they'd want me to get an award. And I received this at a time in my life when I felt like nothing was going the way that I needed it to go, be it academic, social life, and others. From then on, I started to reflect about why education is such a passion for me, unlike many others who might say that they dislike school. From stories told by my mother and learning more about my grandmother, I understood that I'm only carrying my grandmother's legacy and striving to create my own. This is my gorgeous grandmother, who is a Hindi teacher and a change maker of her days, who made a difference for hundreds of girls by doing something like paying for their exam fees. I grew up listening to and learning from her stories, and my mother told me that there were days when my grandmother would struggle to find 2 rupees so that she could take the bus to her work and earn a living. Despite this, she provided for both of her daughters, my mom and my aunt, with good education while keeping her students at the same time. This is a picture of my grandma and her sisters with my great-grandparents. As the youngest of 7 girls in the family, life was not easy for her. So at the age where she must play, she would raise her nieces and nephews and not go to school. Eventually, she stood up for herself and fought with her father to be sent to at least the Hindi school right in front of their house. She would help her sisters earn some money and lend that on interest to support her education. So her father finally agreed after much persuasion, and she taught herself to read English alphabets, eventually becoming a Hindi teacher and making her the only educated person in her family. To think of it now, these are the stories that have subconsciously influenced me to be passionate about education, and to know that in some parts of rural India, girls still go through the problems that my grandmother faced even after 50 years, and to see the repercussions of eve teasing and acid attacks, I learned that I needed to do something to help. On August 15th in 2016, I met Jay Uncle and read the book Seeds for Change, The Lives of Surya and Etta Sehgal. Knowing that not everyone could be courageous like my grandmother, I realized that I can help girls fight for their education and marital rights through the Life Skills Education Program that provides them with the basic life skills needed to go through life. This grassroots program at the Sehgal Foundation is a 5-month after-school program that costs $4,000 and has 3 components: how to use a computer, governance, and life skills. I was particularly thrilled by the first 2 components, which give these girls the power of knowledge and confidence to fight the deep-rooted cultural barriers, while learning about how to operate a computer prepares them for jobs in the future and helps them to learn more about the world outside their village. Over the last 4 years, we have fundraised a lot by doing various fundraisers such as auctioning off a handmade bench, selling coupon books, having a homemade Indian dinner day at our house for friends, and asking for free will donations. And all of these paid off in the terms of empowering 183 girls in total for their entire life. As you can see, I significantly exceeded my goal in the first year, so we were able to do 2 programs, which meant girls from 2 schools, one in Kalsada and the other in Indragarh, both in Rajasthan, were empowered. At the school in Haldina, students participated in multiple activities such as researching about the issue of plastic waste, conducting a cleanliness drive in their village, and building a bench from eco bricks, which are made from tightly packed plastic waste and sand. When I went to India 2 summers ago, I was able to talk to a lot of students from the schools that were empowered through fundraising for Project Life Skills. And I learned about a lot of their stories, and one of them would be how the students applied for government programs to get bikes to travel to school, or else they'll have to walk for miles. They also performed skits to their villagers about the power of education and why child marriages should stop. I'm personally attached to these girls in Prithvipura because they sent me these handmade cards for my 13th birthday, and they shared stories of how they enjoyed shopping. In all these schools, one thing was common, which was that every single person had a friend who was married at a young age, and they promised to stand up for each other and, if needed, complain to teachers and police. We've created an awareness of problems around the world here in the US, especially among my friends who have seen me do Project Life Skills since 5th grade. 2 examples of this would be from Ujjwal and Raj. Ujjwal is from North Carolina, and he has helped me with my readathon in the past and is now doing a fabric pollution project. Raj is from New Hampshire, and he has taken the concept of skill donation, where you take a skill that you are proficient in and donate it and raise money, and has started teaching science classes to raise money. 50 years back, my grandmother fought for her own education, and that has empowered our family of girls. My mother was the first person to receive her professional degree, and she became a doctor. With the privileges showered upon me by my family, I want to continue my passion for education. This is not only for myself, but to take forward my grandmother's legacy into empowering more girls to find their voice, so that 50 years down the lane, all these girls will create a domino effect like my grandmother did. When I told her about this presentation and took her permission to talk about her story, she summarized her circle of life into one statement. An educated girl will make educated decisions for herself, her family, and for the society. This picture is of me when I was 5 months old with all my maternal grandmothers. This year with COVID-19, these girls need us more than ever. As my contribution, I have participated in an essay competition where I won $500 that was donated to the Sehgal Foundation. This, along with matching funds, will be applied towards Project Life Skills. And additionally, Raj is collaborating with me to conduct science sessions to those who need additional enrichment during this time. All proceeds from this will be donated to Project Life Skills and matched by the Sehgal Foundation. I request each and every one here tonight to join forces and create that domino effect for all the girls in India who are still struggling to study and who are still getting married at such young ages to stand up for themselves. Thank you.
Very good. Good job.
Yeah.
Wow, Shreeya, that was so amazing and so emotional. The stories you told were really beautiful. Next, we have Adhitya Ajith, a student at Waukee High School in Waukee, Iowa. For his project presentation, Adhitya will be talking about his cleanliness project surrounding sanitation and health, which is especially important now in the thick of COVID-19. Go ahead, Adhitya.
Thank you for the introduction, Vidya. So my project is called Aditya's Cleanliness Project. So I wanted to start off by talking about how I learned about the Sehgal Foundation. My brother was an intern there in the summer of 2019. And during the summer, my family goes to India to visit my parents and cousins. This year, we went to pay him a visit and spend some time with him, as he was in the northern part of India while we were in the southern part. I actually got to visit their foundation when I went to see him, and I got a tour of their facilities. The picture you see below is a picture of their green building. And the first thing I learned about was how that eco-friendly building impacted the environment. I also got to talk with Mr. J. Sehgal himself, and he gave me an introduction of what the Sehgal Foundation is and what they do. So how did I start this project? This past summer, I participated in a youth essay competition for the India Philanthropy Alliance, and I wrote an essay on making education accessible in rural villages. I was the runner-up in my age category, and I donated my $500 that I had received to the Sehgal Foundation. I then decided to start my project based off of the idea of making education more accessible in rural India. During the COVID pandemic, schools were being shut down. And one way that I could help with keeping them open was to send COVID kits that would provide basic sanitation for the students. So why did I choose this specific idea to focus on? Education is very important, and COVID made it much harder for kids to have an accessibility to getting an education because schools were being shut down. I believe that one way of mitigation is to send out COVID kits, which would help control the spread of COVID in school. That would keep them in school for longer. These would also minimize the risk of students contracting it as well. Rural children in India do not have the same access to sanitation as many other schools in large cities in India do, which makes it even more important to me that they remain safe in schools. So this is my project, and my project is sending COVID-19 kits to help out schools in need during this time of crisis. And the two pictures that you see above are just two examples of what the Sehgal Foundation has done to impact schools. Here is a video of the Sehgal Foundation and their COVID-19 kits.
Schools are opening soon. However, we still live in an uncertain time due to COVID. While kids might be excited to see familiar faces, we still need to be aware that cases are on the rise. About 460,000 children in India might be at risk over the next 6 months. Among these, poor rural children in India are amongst the most vulnerable. With your help, the Sehgal Foundation can provide COVID school safety packages. For every $1,500 raised, we will provide a no-touch hand washing station, oximeters, thermometers, sanitizers and masks. Together, we can protect our precious young ones in India.
So to go into some of the specific items included in the kit, the COVID kits contain 5 original no-touch hand washing stations that were made by the Sehgal Foundation's very own water and sanitation experts. An example of these no-touch hand washing stations releases soapy water and reduces water usage by 30 to 40%. Along in the kit is 2 oximeters, 5 thermometers, 500 masks, 25 bottles of hand sanitizer, as well as community engagement with children, teachers, and parents on COVID-19 prevention and sanitation practices. The total budget for one COVID kit would be $1,500, and that is per each school. So what are the benefits of these COVID-19 kits? They help slow the spread of COVID in school by encouraging cleanliness through the engagement that they contain. They're also effective in killing germs, and they keep schools a healthy and thriving environment for learning. COVID-19 kits also encourage frequent hand washing, along with face masks, to stymie the spread of germs through the air. The oximeters and thermometers included help in measuring oxygen levels and temperature. Because COVID enters the body through the respiratory system, it usually lowers oxygen levels, and oximeters can help detect that even before someone feels sick. So to conclude, the Sehgal Foundation is working towards encouraging the youth voice and helping us promote our projects which work towards a greater cause in India. The Transform Lives One School at a Time is also a major part of the Sehgal Foundation's future plans. COVID-19 kits are crucial in helping slow the spread of COVID in schools with their mitigation strategies, which help in keeping kids in school for a longer time and help keep them safe. Even if you do not donate today, I hope you've learned something and will be able to spread the word about how important these kits are and the other projects you will or have heard about today. These are the ways to donate. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Amazing job, Aditya. That was really, really impressive. Our third presenter today is Rohan Chalamalaseetti, a sophomore at Eden Prairie High School in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. His project, Laptops for Limitless Learning, is focused on donating laptops to the Sehgal Foundation to teach digital literacy in India. Take it away, Rahul.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rohan Chalamalaseetti, and my project is Laptops for Limitless Learning. Technology is an integral part of modern society, but there are clear disparities in the world and where this key factor is not readily available. Now, for those of you in the audience, here's a question. How many of you have unused laptops at home? Now, this may be a result of upgrading to new technology. Now, it is also very important to note that it is estimated that Americans have $33 billion of unused technology sitting in their homes collecting dust. But what about India? Based off this UNICEF report, just 24% of Indian households have internet connections to access e-education, and there is a large rural, urban, and gender divide that is likely to widen the learning gap across high, middle, and low-income families. Much like the average American family, my family also has unused technology, more specifically laptops. And around last summer, I was introduced to the Sehgal Foundation through my parents, who are also very heavily involved in the foundation. Soon after, Mr. Sehgal and his team came and presented to my robotics team, and from then on, I soon realized the new purpose and the importance for these laptops. And due to my background in robotics and my interests, I began putting efforts into fabricating a new project. Laptops for Limitless Learning is focused on giving a new purpose to unused laptops to contribute to limitless learning. Now, the implementation is a 4-step process that begins with collection, refurbish, distribute, and deploy. Collection involves forming a team with interested members and collecting laptops from friends, families, corporations, and willing donors. Refurbishing is where we add missing components, upgrade the laptops, repair them, and etc. Distribute is the logistics to ship to the destination. How are we going to get it to the schools? How are we going to get it to India? And then deployment is setting it up at the schools to make sure that these stations of laptops stay there and work effectively. Now, of course, with every project, there comes challenges. And with Laptops for Limitless Learning, there were challenges with almost every step, starting with gathering. Gathering at the beginning of the process was very inefficient and it flawed. By asking people by mouth, we weren't able to get as many laptops that we hoped to get. That means with a low laptop input, that gives us a low laptop output. And since we have the global crisis that is COVID-19, that effectively ended the previous method of gathering laptops, since we can't go out and talk to people, we can't go door knocking because it's a hazard. And of course, funding is also very appreciative. Laptops with missing components may require to have parts that need to be bought, such as extra RAM, HDD, wireless drives, etc. Challenges for distribute involve needing to understand government restrictions and regulations, because we can't just ship laptops over to India or other countries due to something called anti-dumping laws. And to set up a method of dropping used laptops, it is a good idea to set up a meeting with a Sehgal representative or willing volunteers so they can take the laptops with them if they're going to India. And for deploy, to procure a source of continuous power, such as solar energy, inverters, and generators is also very important, because without power, it's not very effective to keep the laptops running. And as we all know, in India, there is not a very good source of continuous power in most of the places where these laptops would be going. And it's also important to provide internet service for e-education. That way we can improve the digital literacy of the students learning there to have a better background of education, and safety measures as well, so we can make sure the laptops don't disappear, they're not stolen, and they stay where they are. Now for the financials, the overall cost for refurbishing and deployment will be around $6,000, and this will include shipping, instructor fees, internet, IEC materials, and of course the laptops. By the end of this project, I hope to give children who lack the resources an equal opportunity to remove the barriers on their education, with the end result of limitless learning. Now, if you would like to donate, please take a screenshot or scan this QR code. This will directly take you to the Sehgal Foundation's website to donate. And if you would also be interested in donating laptops, you can contact Kushbu and we can set up some way to get the laptops over to India. Thank you.
Yep.
That was amazing.
Good job.
Last but not least, we have Rohan Chalamalaseetti, a student at Aubrey Park Middle School in Overland Park, Kansas. Rohan's Clean Water Initiative is his project where he raises money for the Sehgal Foundation's Transform Life School to have clean water and sanitation. Our final presenter.
Thank you for introducing me, Vidya. Hi, my name is Rohan Chalamalaseetti, and my project is called Rohan's Clean Water Initiative, or RCWI. As Vidya mentioned before, I am in 7th grade at Aubrey Bend Middle School. I live in Kansas City, Kansas, and I saw some of the Sehgal Foundation's work in 2019 when I was visiting India with my family. I was also the winner of a middle school essay competition by the Indian Philanthropy Alliance, which was highlighting this project. In India, clean drinking water is a very big problem. Over 50% of school children in India do not have access to clean drinking water in India. And by 2030, only 40% of school children will have access. Even if a school in a rural area has a clean water source, it is on average 35 minutes away from the school itself. Out of India's 718 districts, 2/3 of them, or roughly 480, are facing severe water depletion. The reason why unsanitary water in India is such a big problem is due to the lack of government funding, corporate privatization, as well as industrial and human waste. This affects India's clean water status very highly, and many organizations are trying to combat this problem. Contaminated water is very bad for human health and can contain many fatal waterborne diseases such as cholera and diarrhea. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, 45% of Indian children every year have their growth stunted. In India, 1.5 million children die each year just to these waterborne diseases, 600,000 of which are under the age of 5. This issue needs to be confronted in a simple and economical way, and the Sehgal Foundation has come up with some great solutions. While I was in India, the Sehgal Foundation gave me the opportunity to see some of their work. The biosand filter solution really intrigued me. A biosand filter functions by harvesting the rainwater from the rooftops of schools. This rainwater goes into tanks that contain large amounts of sand and gravel. The sand and gravel can filter out different chemicals such as nitrogen and others and can produce clean water. As you can see in this image, from the rooftop of the school, the harvested rainwater goes into these pipes, which lead into these large big tanks. These are the tanks that contain the sand and gravel. These tanks can end up producing clean water. This water can be accessed through taps or can be stored in other tanks for later use. This solution is very practical and economical, and it makes access to clean water easy and safe. The cost for the rainwater harvesting system will be around $2,700, and the cost for drinking water and sanitation station will be around $3,400. You can donate using this QR code, or you can also go to smsfoundation.org. Together we empower rural India. Thank you for listening.
Well done.
Rohan, that was so good. You really know your stuff. Sorry. Thank you to all of our presenters. You all did such an amazing job and are really inspirational. So I'm going to open the floor for discussion if you have questions. We're going to start if you're 18 or younger. You guys ask questions first.
President Denson. I don't know where he started. People joined. Rob, I think by mistake you're sharing your screen. Yeah, there we go. All right.
It's an age-related issue.
Makes sense. Amaya, would you like to ask your question?
Hi, my name is Amaya. I'm 8 years old. I'm from New York City. My question is for Rohan there. Does your water taste good? How do you know your water tastes good?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Yes, the water is clean. How I know is because when the water is rainwater and it falls on the rooftops, because it doesn't touch the ground, it doesn't have many chemicals to begin with. Also, when the water is being filtered, it goes into this sand. That sand filters all biological chemicals like nitrogen from the water, which are bad for human consumption. Also, this water is, my parents have tried it and they're okay. So the water is good.
I think, Raj, do you have a question you would like to ask?
Yeah. So, can we like recommend a school by the local needs and the community's involvement for the Transform Lives project?
You want to know if you can recommend a school where you would like to do your projects? Yes, of course. As long as we are in that region where your school is, we'll be more than happy to take on those schools. One of the key aspects that we look after is to make sure there's a complete community participation, because without that we will not do, because the community has to take charge of that school after we are done with starting and doing the Transform Lives part of it. It is handed back over to the community and they have to run the school to make sure that they maintain it for the future.
Thank you, Raj, for that great question. Tushita, would you like to ask your question?
Hi, my name is Shreeya and I'm a 7th grader at South Middle School. My question is for Shreeya. What were the girls' reactions to when the Sehgal Foundation came with all these facilities to give them a better chance at life?
Thanks for asking your question. Yeah, so their reactions were definitely positive. They were very, very happy. They were excited. Uh, I didn't really see their reactions like when they found out that the Sehgal Foundation was doing all of this, but when I did visit them and I asked them about their experiences, they were really happy. They had a lot of fun learning, how to use like a laptop because I really never learned that before, right? So they had fun like doing online shopping and stuff. They talked to me about like how they were so happy about like ordering shoes and watches online, things like that. So yeah, they were really happy and excited about that.
Thank you. That was an amazing question and equally amazing response. So on the chat box, I see a young person, Anish Varsha. Thank you so much for your question. Anish Varsha's question is, I am 8 years old. Can I help? Why don't we go to each young person? Is there anyone on the panel that would like to answer?
I can go ahead first.
Thank you.
So what I would say is the first thing to do is probably to reach out to each of the panelists here today that presented, and first have what you can say first is, what are you able to do? Because obviously at 8 years old, you can be, flying to India, for example, taking Rahul's project. You can't be flying to India by yourself, taking laptops and stuff. So I'd say the biggest thing is look at the challenges that you can face and maybe give us some of the specifics on exactly what you can do to contribute.
If I can answer as well. I started Project Life Skills when I was 10 or 11, which isn't that far off from 8 years old, really. And obviously, I couldn't do everything by myself. I cannot raise $2,000 or more by myself when I was like 10 or 11. So I took a lot of help from my parents and a lot of help from like Jay Uncle, especially. Um, so it's if you're that young and you really, really want to help, if you have that passion to help people, yes, you can do it. I would say you can do it, but you're going to definitely need some help. It's not just going to be like an only you thing. Yeah.
Great. So let me ask if there's any other people in the audience under 18, you can type with maybe your parent or guardian's help in the chat box, or you can unmute and just speak. Your video won't be on, but we'll hear you.
How can we help kids in India if we're not there?
Thank you so much. That's a wonderful question, Sonia. Thank you, Sonia. So I give it to the panelists if anybody would like to answer that question.
I think if you live in America like I do, I think you can reach out to Mr. Sehgal and you can do events like these, like a fundraiser where you're asking people to donate, in which then you can implement your project. You have to come up with a project. You have to find a problem. You need to research on that problem. You need to come up with a solution. You need to reach out to other people in that problem's field, and you need to ask them what their insights are. And I think if you live in America, yeah, you should be having fundraisers, multiple fundraisers.
Great. Is there another panelist that would like to answer Sonia's question? How can you help if you're not in India?
Let me just add to that. I think I think kids have very wonderfully addressed all the questions. One of the things that we always suggest is that next time that once the pandemic is over and people are able to travel again, and next time you're in India, let us know and we can arrange a visit to these villages where the work is going on. So then that way you get to see firsthand how the children are making impact and how the children are going to these schools. So once you visit the school, you'll get a much better idea as to what do you feel passionate about. It has to come from within you, what you feel passionate about doing. And you pick and choose, and we provide the platform after that.
Thank you, Jay, for such a welcoming environment for all the children for Sehgal Foundation.
Okay.
You have to unmute yourself.
No, he's on mute.
No.
Khushbu, I was just going to inquire, how about connecting the students if they are in the same town or the same area with each other? You know, they can learn just like mentoring, because if Shreeya is there and willing to help out to a young person, it is sometimes very easy, sometimes is very good, very effective. That you know, mentoring at their age group, not the adult.
Right. All right. I think that's a good idea, and that's something that we have been also talking recently, how to start a youth chapter, basically, and the youth interact with each other and encourage each other to get involved in the in this process of development and making an impact. Yeah.
Also, like what I think Ashwin has done, he started very young, and he was, I think, introduced this foundation to the schools, and he had raised funds at a very young age, and that's how actually the children's involvement with the foundation has started. So that's a very good idea, I think, that kids should, you know, at young age, you can talk to your friends, you could talk to your teachers and tell them about the foundation and how they can be involved. So that could be one of the things that you young kids can be involved as well.
Thank you. So there's a couple more questions here. Abhay, would you like to ask your question? Oh.
I have a question for Rahul. So I want to also refurbish computers, and instead of giving them in India, I want to give them locally to local homeless shelters. What problems have you faced while refurbishing them?
Could you expand on, like, do you mean problems in like delivering or like problems in actually refurbishing?
Problems in actually refurbishing them?
In related, like when I began doing the refurbishment, I obviously had a test laptop, and a lot of the time problems were compatibility, because the main thing that you needed to start with was the operating system, because if it was outdated, the laptop when it runs smoothly is really slow and there are many errors. So you would always have to look up the individual laptop model, see what's compatible, and if they're missing parts, you have to crack it open. Then you need to be able to identify which parts are missing. And once you figure that out, you need to find online again, you need to figure out what kind of part is missing, how much it'll cost, and see if that part itself is compatible with that laptop model.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so there is a question in the chat. Okay, so we have George in the audience. George, would you like to ask your question?
Khushbu, I don't think they can unmute themselves. So if they can just put in did they put in the chat or?
Okay, I can read it. So we have George in the audience. George is asking, do you have projects in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or Karnataka trying to connect with some individuals there? Maybe Jay, you could speak for that?
We have presence in Karnataka, but we do not have presence in Kerala or Tamil Nadu as of yet. So our key states are in the south are Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Karnataka, and in the mid section we are in Maharashtra. So those are some of the states in the south, but we have quite a presence in the north. But we are in 10 states all over India.
Mhm. Thank you. And also, I want to open the Q&A and discussion section to everybody. So over 18 crowd, you're also most welcome to ask or weigh in. You can type in the chat or you can raise your hand and we can connect with your audio. So we have a couple
Rob has a question.
additional.
Rob like his students to, what are their career plans? That's what what do they want to be in the future? For all four of you and five of you, Vidya as well, just take a few seconds and say, what are your future plans?
Okay. So why don't we start in the order that I'm seeing on the video? So Rohan, could you please share first your career plans?
I think I don't have a specific career yet, but I think I want to have something relating to math. I think if I really like math, and if I want to have a career with that, I think that opens a really wide variety of job options. But I don't have anything fixed. I also really want to still stay with the Sehgal Foundation. I think stay involved with their work and all the other things.
Thank you, Rohan. Vidya, would you like to go next?
So I'm like applying to college right now, right? So hopefully if everything goes the way I want it to, I'll go to college in California. And I think I'm going to pursue something along the lines of environmental engineering and visual arts.
Amazing, thank you. Adhitya, over to you.
Okay, so I'll be honest when I say that I have not really had much of a idea of exactly what I'm gonna do, but I have like an interest towards some of the sciences and like some of the classes I'm taking in school relate to that. But I don't have any exact specifics on what I want to be when I grow up.
That makes sense. Thank you, Adhitya. Rahul, would you like to go next?
In the future, I would like to go into the aerospace engineering field, and a long time goal for like a couple of years was to hopefully get some of my technology up into space.
Amazing. I have no doubt that you will somehow. Rahul. Shreeya, last but not least.
As of right now, I have absolutely no career that I really want to go into. It's switched a lot ever since like I really found out, like ever since I really learned about the idea of like a job, you know, when I was really young. So it went from like a chef to a cardiologist to an astronaut to like forensic scientist to an English teacher. It's like all over the place. But I do know I want to do something with that involves languages because I do like learning languages. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Shreeya. So we have a question from Ashu. Okay, this question has been answered. Okay, sorry. I think, Anish, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. So
Great.
I have two questions. These both are for Shriyaka, and they are, does this project only benefit girls? And I'll later.
Yeah. So digital literacy, this particular track at the Sehgal Foundation is for all adolescent children in the school. So it'll be boys and girls. But when I decided to do Project Life Skills, I wanted to focus on the girls more because they have less opportunities in the villages. So I wanted them to have more opportunities to get that education. So for Project Life Skills, it's only for girls. But if you just do the digital literacy, like the life skills education track in that, it'll be both boys and girls.
And then my second question is, does this project help girls' colleges? Because you said that it helps like all of their education. So does this help also for college for the younger kids?
I mean, they'll get their proper normal education at school, right? And then what from this project is they'll learn how to apply for colleges or apply for anything that they'll need for their future for education. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So we have a couple more questions. We have a question from Nitya Mayeni. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Nitya's question is, how have your digital literacy programs impacted the schools you've implemented them in? And what do you see as the future of this project? So I guess Shreeya or Jay, one of you, would you like to take the question?
Yeah. Can I go first? Is that okay?
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Okay. So the digital literacy programs, what they've done is that the girls have become more empowered, and now they've learned how to use computers to like check public distribution sites. And a story from that would be a student went on that site and they found out that their family was actually being like delivered less rice than the original amount. So they were being like basically robbed of the rice for their family. And they found that out after learning how to use the laptop from the digital literacy program. And for the future of this project, I'm not exactly sure like too much, but I do know that I want to continue this and I want to empower more girls, a lot more girls in the future, because there's still so many girls out there who still need proper education and still need to learn about their basic rights and their basic rights to like just everything in life. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shreeya. So I know that there's some really great questions in the audience, but we do want to be able to end in time. So with that, we will be wrapping up the Q&A and discussion. But for all of the open questions, if I am technically able to, I will do my best to email and write the responses for those additional questions that have come through. So I want to just thank all of our panelists and our amazing moderator, Vidya, Adhi, Rahul, Rohan, Shreeya. Thank you so much. We have learned so much. I think we can all agree we've learned so much from your presentations. So we have had an opportunity to hear from some incredible young people in the United States. We would like to show you a 2-minute video to give you a sense of impact of what these projects, how they'll be benefiting young people in India.
high school looks beautiful now. Drinking water is clean and safe. Computer is fun. Our school is safe. I love to study now. हमें स्कूल आना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. शौचालय अब साफ सुथरे हैं.
घर से हम खाली बोतल लाते हैं क्योंकि हमारे स्कूल में पानी की स्रोत सुरक्षित है.
I feel more happy.
कभी सोचा नहीं था कि हमारा स्कूल इतना सुंदर बन सकता है.
So my favorite thing about that video is I feel that when a child feels secure and when a child is learning and is able to learn, there's a certain glimmer in their eyes, and you really see it in this video. That's my favorite thing about this video. So, you know, in conclusion, I just want to thank Vidya, Shreeya, Adhitya, Rahul, and Rohan. In the last month, I've had an opportunity to work really closely with them. And I think for all of the parents and the grandparents and teachers in the audience, you can understand when I say kids nowadays have so much on their plate. You know, the panelists that you've heard from today, they were juggling homework and tests, interviews with Ivy League colleges, difficult personal circumstances, and schools suddenly without notice going from in-person to remote. But despite everything that was on their plates, these young people stood up because they believe, just like Dr. Sehgal and Edda, that all children everywhere should have opportunities. So please, I welcome all of you to join me in applauding these amazing young people. And I invite all of you to join me in supporting these young people in their incredible quest to ensure that young people of their same age and younger have opportunities in the villages across India. Please donate. There's lots of ways to do it. You can mail at this address. There's a QR code for the techie people in the audience. You can also donate online. Every dollar donated will be matched by Dr. Sehgal and Edda. So for the kids in the audience, if you donate $1, that becomes $2 of impact in your donation. And most of all, I encourage everybody to please stay connected to what's happening across rural India. Please stay connected to Sehgal Foundation. You can go to our website. You can sign up for our newsletter. We have an amazing monthly newsletter. You can follow us on social media. We've got a great Facebook presence. And I would love, absolutely love if you emailed me and let me know what you thought about this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions and think about other ways that you could get involved. So thank you. And to conclude the evening, I am so excited to introduce somebody who has been very low-key and unequivocal supporter and champion for women and children across India. She is a mentor to me and to women and girls across the world. I'm so pleased and honored to introduce Edda to give our closing remarks.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. This was truly amazing. Listening to our young guest speakers was so inspiring. when I came to America, John Kennedy was our president. And I think you all know his very famous words, ask not what you can do for your country, what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Well, 60 years later, this has really expanded to what can you do for our world? It is very gratifying to see young people like you stepping up to meet that challenge. I know you were born in this country, but your parents came from India for better opportunities, a better future, ultimately for a better life for you. So you have the country of your birth, and you have the country of your heritage. You have had every opportunity from day one. And so it is commendable that you even think of the children or the people back in India, particularly the girls, who have limited opportunities and maybe none at all. Your efforts and commitment will help those children to a better future, and that can impact their families and their villages. I am sure that your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your friends are all very proud of you. And I know we at the Sehgal Foundation certainly are. So we thank you with all our hearts and wish you the best in your endeavors, whatever you may, whatever you may do, but I am sure you will accomplish much. And I just want to add a couple more comments. Since my very first visit to India, which was in 1970, India has made a tremendous progress in every respect. And of course, infrastructure is very visible, but in every respect. But the rural areas have been left behind. Most villages are neglected and almost forgotten. So when our foundation team, when we as a foundation, we go to a village, we lend the people, we lend them an ear, we lend them a hand. Of course, we also try and find solutions. And ultimately, we give them hope. So thank you very much for your presentation and for your continued cooperation with our foundation. Thank you all.
Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Sehgal. It was, or I could call you auntie, of course, you know, so thank you for that wonderful. And
you can.
and thanks for, I think thanks to both of you for starting this organization, wonderful organization, and bringing it to this stage where it is today. So your leadership and your guidance is always extremely, extremely appreciated. So we are all very, very thankful for having this opportunity. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your participation today. I do want to acknowledge just a couple of people who joined a little bit later in the session. Maybe I missed them at the beginning. Ambassador Quinn, if you're there, could you please turn on your video and mic?
Yes,
Yes.
I have it on. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we
Jay?
can. Very much.
Wow, great. Well, wow. The students, wow, they are so amazing. I sent a note to all of them. It was so wonderful to see Suri and to hear Etta. And my one thought I have is that next Thursday is Thanksgiving in America. I know they don't have Thanksgiving in India, but if they did, I know all of those students in all of those villages, in all of those schools where the Sehgal Foundation is doing such incredible things would all be offering thanks that they have had the impact of the Sehgal Foundation in their lives. So God bless all of you for all that you've done and all of the lives you've touched and have transformed.
Well, thank you, Ambassador Quinn. Very nicely, very well done. Very nice message, and good to wrap it up. I also want to introduce especially all the kids here who have written the essays for the India Philanthropic Alliance. Alex, are you still on? Alex? I think he may have stepped aside. But we are very thankful to the India Philanthropy Alliance for giving the opportunity for all these kids to write these wonderful essays, and we are extremely thankful. And so once again, thank you everyone. Thanks for your participation. It's been wonderful. We will have recordings of these sessions as well to share with everybody at a later date. So thank you all. Thank you for our sponsors. We are extremely, extremely thankful to you for giving us the opportunity and partnering with us. So thank you. Good night. Happy Thanksgiving. And
thank you. And we can take a moment to unmute, and all the panelists and the youth speakers can say goodbye. Thank you.
It's a wonderful session. So thank you for organizing it. And
Excellent.
thank you to all the participants.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Okay.
Bye now.
It was wonderful that to see everyone and
They don't hear you.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't hear you.
we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Well, Jay, Alex is on, by the way, except he must be on mute, you know, but his picture
Must have
was
been
there.
muted, so I just wanted
Oh,
to thank him for the opportunity that he provided for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that maybe it is on mute, you know, that between
Alex
mute and
counts.
unmute.
Yeah,
Alex is
I
here.
asked him to unmute also, but I think he must have stepped aside. So
Yeah, that's the problem between mute and unmute. You never know.
yeah.
You can send a text. Yeah, he can't. I think you can't.
I'll see.
You can't unmute it remotely, can you?
I asked him. All I can do is ask him to unmute, but I think he has stepped aside. I can text him and see. No, I don't have his. I don't have his cell phone number. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks all the kids. You did a fantastic job. Thanks Vidya for. Thanks.
Yeah, it's very impressive to see that 8-year-old kid want to get involved, and maybe we should be thinking of a.
Well, and the 12-year-old is involved already.
Yeah, that maybe Jay, you need to think of a social innovation center for youth, some kind of a where there's a possibility for the kids to come together to develop any project or think of any project or discuss a platform.
Yeah. What do you guys think? All the kids are there. What do you guys think? The Social Innovation Center.
Sounds
for the
awesome.
youth, yeah. Okay.
If I'm going to say
good.
something, when I was 8 years old, the last thing I was thinking about was getting involved in something like this. My first thing would be probably playing outside.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like, Ajith, thank you very much for your remarks. It was wonderful to hear everybody, and especially the children. And as I said, follow your passion, whatever the passion is. It doesn't matter. Whatever area you decide to go and do a good job, because that is what the leaders do. You know, they go to a certain path, and you have many role models in Iowa and Des Moines. And if you're going to California or anywhere, don't forget Iowa. You know, your roots are now in Iowa, and I think.
No, but we have one student from Minnesota and one from Kansas.
Yeah, well, don't forget your
neighbors. Your neighbors.
Do like us. We still have a base in Des Moines, Iowa. We haven't forgotten. And one of the mission of the foundation was to create this friendship. You know, that you hear about these sister cities, and here was between person to person to creating those linkages. And that's very good that we get so many students who spend time with us at the foundation in India, and it is beneficiary to both. They benefit, we benefit, because they bring new ideas. Even young people, like today we have seen, they have their own ideas, and they are very much up to date on what is happening. As I said earlier, that they are in the cutting edge of new technology, new industrial revolution, whatever they are. And they are more up to date, and we can learn a lot from them, because wherever you ask somebody, oh, I don't know this computer, he said, don't you have grandchildren? You know? So the people suggest to people like us who are older, he said, where are your grandchildren? They can teach you. So I think that's wonderful that the young people are in this age when so many new things are happening, whether it's a new technology, clean technology, renewable technology, or digitization of everything, combining all what has happened in the past, and is an amazing opportunity. And I think the question was asked the young people that what are their future plans. It all depends. You know, that you can make a contribution whatever area you choose. It doesn't matter. It is yes, there's a lot to do in new technologies, whether it's biotech or whether it's internet information technology, and so much is happening. And they said, for us older people, older generation, the young people, we can learn a lot from the young people, because they are the future champions, and they know a lot more about these things which are on the horizon. It's wonderful to talk to everyone. And
but you still have a couple of years to make a decision.
Yeah, whatever you decide, doesn't follow your passion and interest. I think Alex is now on
Alex
mute.
has joined. Alex, the kids are here. I thought I asked you to say a few words to the kids because it was your platform with the India Philanthropy Alliance. Wonderful essays they have written, and I thought you can address the kids after their presentations.
Well, I just think they did a tremendous job tonight, a tremendous job in their essays, inspired so many people at the conference where they presented a few weeks ago. And I think this is going to become an annual event. But you know, you're the very first who took a chance, invested time in articulating your views, and I think educated a lot of us about what's possible and what the next generation is going to do that we couldn't even accomplish ourselves in terms of philanthropy, in terms of you know, thinking of and working for the benefit of others. I'm just so impressed and so pleased to be part of this.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I think you said the right thing. I think for the kids who are other kids who are on this call, we will have more opportunities through the India Philanthropy Alliance to write more essays in the future. And I think many of the current kids are going to be helping you in formulating the future sessions. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate it. Open forum, we can leave it open if anybody wants to say anything else, or we can close it and say goodbye. Anybody wants to leave, they're most welcome to leave. Thank you. Thanks to all the parents who have been cooperative throughout this this complete last 1 month and while we are working with the kids. So you all done a fantastic job. All the kids, just marvelous. Yeah. Reggie?
Jay, may I just interrupt for a moment over here?
Yeah.
This is Reggie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. First, thanks to, of course, both Suris, Edda and Suri and Jay, but a special shout out for Khushbu. I think she's a breath of Khushbu in Sehgal Foundation, if I can take liberty with that word. And she's been very inspirational, and she's got this company, this foundation going, and I cannot thank her enough. And of course, for your leadership and what you do and inspiring the next gen kids. I know you certainly inspired our children when they were kids, and now I can see this crop of 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old kids, absolutely phenomenal. What intellectual capacity these kids have, and what articulation, what presentation skills, and the kind of projects they have undertaken. So God bless to each of these kids. We are absolutely delighted, and you are the future. So go with it. As Suri and Edda said, just take your dreams and just push. You are the change. You are the change of the world. So that's it. Thank you. But thank you, Khushbu.
Very well said, Reggie. Yeah. So thank you again. I think we can wrap.
Thank you, Jay, Khushbu, and Reggie, and everyone, and hi to Dr. Sehgal and Edda. Been a while. That it's already like 2 to 3 years that we came, and we still have the fond memories of visiting you guys. And thank you so much for everything that you have done so far. Thank you.
Thank you. And Kiranmai, I want to thank you so much. You spent so much time nurturing these children and helping them with their talks and their questions. And thank you so much.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And of course, we have one of our colleagues who's not on is Erin. So we also thank her for her participation and helping us throughout. So thank you, everyone. And let's have a good evening and stay safe, stay healthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.